Now, Prime Minister Justin and Immigration Minister Mark Miller spoke against Indian students that they will not be allowed in maximum numbers to study in the Canada. This is another biggest information and little a bit pessimistic information for Indian students, because Indian students are getting very negative statements from different countries. Especially two countries are repelling Indians as much as possible. One is Canada and one is the United States. Canadian Prime Minister Justin, who just resigned because of immigration crisis, and he faced a lot of opposition in Parliament House, and opposition leader Poilievre put a lot of blames that you are allowing people to come in Canada who are useless. And PM Justin and Canadian Immigration Minister Mark Miller now have intention to invite students from other countries of the world. They want to get the students from global world. They use the word globalization in their statement. It means that we don't want to get only students from India, and we want to get students from globalization. In their objectives, that when the students will come other countries like European countries or other little bit better wealthy countries, these people may not stay in Canada, and their objective to earn the fee and to increase the GDP ratio of Canada by economy of Canada, and students getting degrees, and they will go back to the home country, as Mark Miller keep telling, go back to the home country after getting education. They already reduced postgraduate work permits. These postgraduate work permits now they are giving on choices. IRCC will wish which student is eligible to get the PGWP, and IRCC will allot PGWP. Otherwise, in the past years, in the past 10 years, maximum numbers of the students automatically getting PGWP. There were no any resistivity. There was no any hurdles. But unfortunately, now currently, these statement of the Canada is against Indian students only. Reason, I will analyze the situation. They are talking that Indian students are not completing their education in full, and they are working more than normal hours, and they became illegal as well when postgraduate work permit is not given to them, because in Canadians new rules only some students will qualify for the PGWP. One are those students who will get specific course which is assigned by IRCC. And second one, they must have other conditions like they must have IELTS, they must have job in a good company, and they must have experience, and they must have good transcript, their marks in the universities. So PGWP getting procedure becoming even difficult than getting visas of Canada. So what's going on basically? Canadian PM Justin and Migration Minister Mark Miller shown their threats that Indians technically students they compelled us to resign, and therefore we will put more pressure, because they have a little bit claim to Indian students. We allowed you to come to Canada, we allowed you to study in Canada, and we allowed you to give you work permit even. Still you became illegal. Still you did not go when your work visa finished. Still you became had deportation letters. A lot of deportation letters given. This is the first time maximum numbers of deportation letter given to Canadian Indian students. I will speak little bit history of Indian students in Canada. Indian students are being number one at volume wise in the Canada. If you just analyze that which country students were more, after China, Indian students became number one. There were competition each year between China and India, and in some years, back in last 10 years, Indian students were more sometime at number one position, mean almost 70,000 to the 100,000 Indian students each year were studying in the Canada. Question is only one: why Canada were allowing a lot of numbers of Indian students in the Canada? Now they are thinking to invite students from other parts of the world. Mean they are making some quota system. Why Canada compelled to do, and what genuine Indian students will do now, because they may be also in trouble, because that's the point I am talking, that when one country students will not fare with the laws and rules of concerned country, whole countries people will suffer, other genuine people will suffer. And because some Indian students just use Canadian visa to stay in Canada and to live and settle in United States, and their intention is not holy. They don't want to study, they don't want to get degree, they don't want to even get the PGWP. They just want to work there, and they just want to apply asylum. This is also a biggest, the maximum numbers of asylum cases are being observed in the Canada in the last 10 years. In current situation, what genuine Indian student must do, I will tell you in the last of the clip, but one thing I will clear here, that this sentence of PM Justin never mean that Indian students will not be able to study in Canada. They are completely eligible. Embassies will take applications, but they will limit the numbers of the visas. For example, if you were 1,000 applications were going on and 400 people were getting visas, now 100 to 200 people, in simple mathematical numbers, I will say that only 200 people will have eligibility to get the Canadian student visa. Indians I am talking about. Why Canada was giving huge numbers of Indians student visas? Because Canada was thinking that these Indians are coming, we are earning money, because Canada earned a lot, because this is an earning machine, international students for each country, for Australia, for Canada, for UK, for even America, and they are preferring international students that you come here and submit the fee. Huge amounts of the fee normally overseas students pay, almost 5 to 6 times higher than the nationals of that country. If you will just analyze the situation between the Canada and Australia, both are suffering same crisis. And crisis is that their students are not going back to the home country after getting education. And because most of the students have no intention to go back to home country, and their main intention during visa application is there that we will settle in the country. This is strange type of the statement of the purpose, in which students always write that we have no intention to settle in the country, but we will go back after getting education. But practically even 0.1% students return back, Asian students, Indian students I am talking, and they would like to stay there. Now PGWP getting procedure, as I already told you, becoming difficult. New rules are very tight now. What Canada want? There are 2 stops for Indian students. Number 1, when they will apply visa, they will not be given visas to much numbers. Only visas will be given now to the extreme genuine. And how Canada will manage, according to Immigration Minister and IRCC, they will investigate at maximum level. The student's plan is right. He is going to get education. He is going to get education by right way. He will come back, or he will not go back to the home country. And what is his plan when he will go back to the home country? Is that job offer from any company, or he is planning to settle in Canada? These are the things which may be verified. Business document, financial document, and the source of earning document of the parents would be indispensable verified. These verifications were at minor level. in the Canadian embassies, and so maximum numbers of the students were getting visas through this way. Now another point is important, the Gen 1 students, because number of the students, as I told you, will be decreased because they are going to fill up the gap of international students from other countries. So mostly suffering students are Gen 1 students who have planned to get the dream education. There are students in this world who want to complete academics by right way, and their plan is not to settle in the country, because now Canada only want that the students stay only who are useful for us. While you were also telling this point, Justin also clarified that we are limiting Indian students and we will call other students from the other parts of the world, because he believes, and we also think that other parts of the students, for example, the students coming from Germany, students coming from France, students coming from UK, he may not stay in Canada after study, and he will leave Canada. That's the point Canada want, that get the education, pay us the fee, and then go back to your own country, because 90% students of Asian paid 5 times more fee to Canadian Institute, just because of the reason that they thought in the past that we will get the PR. Now PR getting procedure becoming tightened day by day. Second stop which Canadian Department of Immigration and IRCC put, that is at PGWP level. After getting education, after getting degree, you will not be able to get the PGWP quite easily. Now you will go under 2 main significant conditions. Number 1, you must have specific course to be qualified for PGWP. Number 2, you must have requirements, and these are the new requirements, just like IELTS, your work experience and your work permit, your job offer in Canada. So PGWP getting procedure, getting difficult, even getting Canadian student visa. So this is the second stop. So I think these 2 stops may reduce Indian students, but IRCC must value a Gen 1 Indian students, and I will refer to Indian Gen 1 students. Please note down by email in my description box. Your SOP will declare you are Gen 1. Your SOP, only SOP, when visa officer, immigration officer will read your SOP, he will say that this man is the man. But I can provide the free services to the Indian students who are victims, and especially SOP, I can help in writing, just clicking the mind of immigration officer, but only those Indian students do me email who are Gen 1. Thank you very much for listening.